Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 258th episode of my series, where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So this was another one of those total unintentional coincidences, where I spent some of my previous upload talking about how I felt the Beatnuts were basically New York's equivalent to Liquid Crew's own, the Alkaholiks, and vice versa. I'm sure it was just a subconscious thing because honestly I've been waiting for any excuse to cover this personal favorite of mine ever since I got it on vinyl. In fact, I would probably rank it in my personal top 3 when it comes to projects released by affiliates and members of Liquid Crew. By proxy, this has always been my favorite LP from the Alkaholiks, which I'm sure I at least mentioned in my review for 21 and over, which I'll leave a link for in the description if you want to check it out. But the only reason I didn't talk about Coast to Coast here first is due to the fact I found the vinyl practically right after posting the aforementioned review. However, in retrospect, I'm almost glad it happened that way, because that predecessor really laid the groundwork for their sophomore LP, and it would have been a bit awkward and counterintuitive to start with their magnum opus, then work backwards and talk about the project that really saw the crew finding their sound. Either way, today we're discussing Coast to Coast, the second album by California hip-hop veterans the Alkaholiks, which dropped in 1995, just 2 years after the 1993 release of 21 and Over, and just 2 years before their super dope, underrated 1997 release, Liquidation. That's actually an extremely solid project in its own right, but I went with this one because it does such a laudable job of taking the themes and ideas that made their debut a classic, and taking virtually every aspect up a notch. Both are essential pieces of West Coast rap music, but if I was forced to score them on a scale from 1 to 10, I would probably give 21 and Over somewhere around an 8, and then put Coast to Coast here a bit closer to a 9. The reason I speak so highly of this album is due to the flawless execution on pretty much every single aspect, from flow, delivery, and lyricism, to sequencing, cover art, and even the feature list. Plus, the licks each have such infectious personalities matched with undeniable senses of humor. The moment that probably highlights that best on this LP is the hilarious track Flashback, which sees every member of the group alongside certain other Liquid Crew associates, each giving their best attempt at an impression of an early to mid-80s rapper, which is a super fun and creative idea, with tongue-in-cheek lines like, "I wear my Adidas shoes real tight just so I can do my windmills right." Honestly, it's more like they're each giving their take on how they might have sounded if they were making the song 15 years earlier than they actually did, which I think is super funny, unique, and most importantly, interesting to listen to. It's not all goofs and giggles though, as we're given some absolute top-of-the-line MCing on the very first track on here, W Licks, which is just a few lines into the opening verse where Wild Child of Loot Pack says, "Rockin' the Appalachians with the ladies with the sexy activations on the black watch. I own a black watch, although I'm black, watch." Then of course I have to share some bars from the actual members of the Alkaholiks themselves, so first I want to read Tash's first appearance on the LP, where he raps, "No releases on the 2 steel wheels, comes the lyrical skills that kills more ducks than oil spills. My people run for the hills, I can track 'em through the mountains. Rico kicked that kind of shit that got more bounce than Roger Troutman. So pass the weed to the top seed with lyrics as deadly as the VDs that make your lungs bleed. Plus, I dig like coal miners through the crates of old timers. I be blowing up the spot like dynamite with one-liners. Oh, reminder to my ex-bitch when I find ya, I'm gonna smack ya for the times I had to star 69 ya. So D-Loke, my homie with the hat to the back, get on the mic and show these people where you're at." Then, skipping forward a couple of tracks after that one, I want to share one of J-Ro's verses, which would make a good contender for my favorite on the entire album. Starting with, "I get in 'em when I sin 'em, the alcoholic venom, I fold your clothes with your body still in 'em. The rhymes I got hit like Ronnie Lott, the only way you take my spot is with a shot. I grab rappers by the hand and make sure they understand, that they can't scrape J-Ro the man, a person who stays in the old school ways, and just like sun rays, I can make your days. We got more soul than James Brown and platform Adidas. The Liquid crew coming new like a fetus. So run tell your granny, your pops, and your girl, dudes like me gonna rule the world. So all aboard the J-Ro train to Funky Town, express from the west, so it's best that I clown. All of the production on this classic was handled in-house either by Declaim, Madlib, or the Alkaholiks members themselves, and then for the guest appearances, we get a small quantity but high quality set of features with the likes of King T, Q-Tip, Exhibit, and Diamond D of DITC. For my honorable mentions on this one, I'm gonna skip the couple of tracks I already mentioned by name and instead recommend 21 and Under, The Next Level, Hit and Run, All the Way Live, and 2014. Then, with my overall top 3 favorites, I ultimately chiseled it down to Read My Lips, Let It Out, and Damn. Thank you for watching my 258th video. Next up, we have a pretty essential Southern collective and label that I haven't featured on the channel altogether. So tune in for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite moments are off this personal favorite of mine. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.